everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about some tools and the best tools for under £30. So yes, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me once again. Now, I do get this question asked quite frequently, and that is, what tools do I use, where do I get them from, and how much are they? So, in front of me, I thought I'd buy a couple of bits, all under £30 each kit, and we'll talk about the best things about them and why they are worth the money. Okay, so maybe you want to start doing your DIY servicing, you want to follow one of my guides on servicing, maybe the Jag or the Audi A4 or something like that, and you need some tools. Maybe you don't have any and you want to know where to get them from, what's the best ones to get on a tight budget. This will hopefully help you. So first of all, I'm going to start off with the socket set. Now, a socket set is pretty much vital whenever you're working on a car because they are just the best way of undoing nuts and bolts. Now, obviously you can use spanners, which we'll talk about them in a bit. However, this socket set I've got in front of me cost £26.80 from Amazon, and to be fair, it pretty much does what it says on the tin. However, this one is actually quite special. This is called a gear lock socket set. So what that means is the sockets themselves look like little gears. Now, this is supposed to stop you from rounding off a head of the nut or the bolt, particularly handy when you're working on a rusty bag of crap and you get a bolt and you start undoing it with a conventional socket and it slips round and then you're just rounding off the head. Now, these can still be used like regular sockets, so I've got a normal bolt here, which should be a 13mm head, and as you can see, fits and works just exactly the same as a regular socket. But like I say, the benefit is, if you had a real rusty head, and this is now starting to strip off, so you're stripping off the hexagonals, lips on the head, hopefully this is going to grip on and still get it undone. I mean, this kit for under £27 is a complete bargain because you get a ratchet, you get one of a spark plug socket. Now, there are usually three sizes of spark plug socket. That one, they have put the most common one, but it also ranges from 4mm socket all the way up to a 90mm socket, which I think is absolutely fantastic. You do also get two extension bars. Again, probably the two most common sizes you're going to use. You've also got a wobble bar, which should hopefully allow you to get into a tight space with the socket. So obviously you put the ratchet on there, and then you'd have your socket on there, and hopefully you'd be able to get maybe round a corner, something like that. So for under £27, I think this is an absolute fantastic kit. However, if you didn't want to go down that route, you could buy individual sockets, or maybe you wanted some longer reach sockets as well as some shallow reach sockets. So what you can do, if I go into my toolbox, so this is a US Pro socket or ratchet as well. However, I have got stuff like this, where they're individual socket sets. So obviously, they're going to cost you a bit more because you're going to buy the ratchet individually, you're going to buy the long reach sockets individually, and then you're going to buy the shallow sockets individually too, like so. However, this is a real good way to build up a real nice toolkit. So if you were to jump on Amazon, the shallow toolkit or the shallow socket set is £10.75, and something similar to this, I'm not sure if they still do these. I have seen, basically they look like this rather than in this fancy foam backed holder. But again, for some long reach sockets, US Pro again on Amazon, you're looking at £19.75. And again, for the sockets, the quality is great, they look fantastic, and they last me well. I've literally been using US Pro now for probably the last 4 or 5 years, just buying them on Amazon and on eBay, and I think they are pretty fantastic. I haven't broken anything. I've got some sockets here which are no longer in their cases, as it were, and some of the chrome, I suppose, has started to come off around the tips. But other than that, they're still pretty solid. I haven't snapped one, I haven't cracked one. So I think for the money, they're absolutely worth it. Now again, if you're thinking about doing the individual socket and ratchet route, I would recommend a long reach ratchet. Now admittedly, this one is a snap-on one. I've had this one for 10-15 years now when I was in the motor trade, and I love it. And to be fair, I love a long reach ratchet. Now again, you can buy a long reach ratchet from Amazon, US Pro once again, and you would only be looking at about £12.95. And again, the quality's still there. I'll give you a good example. So this is a US Pro ratchet, and here is a Blue Point ratchet. Can't really tell the difference. In all fairness, this one feels a little bit heavier, a little bit more heavy duty. So again, for the money, you can't go wrong. And if you're still continuing on with the individual routes, so you bought yourself some shallow sockets, you bought yourself some deep sockets, you bought yourself a nice ratchet, you might want to think about buying some extension bars. Now, once again, US Pro, which both these are, and this comes as part of the kit, it goes from this size all the way down to a real stubby one. That is just £12.49. So again, if you wanted to go down this route of individuals, you can do an entire kit, shallow sockets, long reach sockets, a nice long reach ratchet and a set of extension bars. You're only talking £55.94 total. So again, that's a little bit over the £30 budget for each set. However, each individual set is by far under that £30 each. So again, you could build yourself a real nice socket set for less than £60. Okay, so after the sockets, I would probably recommend getting yourself a nice spanner set. Now, once again, Amazon, US Pro, the spanner set is £19.64. Now, these ones are just the standard spanners. They're not ratchet spanners. You can buy spanners, ratchet spanners from US Pro. I think they're about £30 a kit. I'll have to have a look that up. However, for less than 20 quid, these spanners are a real nice kit. And again, you get this lovely little holder, which you can then roll up. So again, if you wanted to buy yourself just a small toolbox, you could be able to roll that up, put it in there. If you had that in there with it, or you decided that you wanted to go all the individual routes, then again, I think if you just buy yourself a nice little small toolkit, all of these things are going to fit in there nicely. So next up, real nice little kit, quite important to have. I think they do get you out of a jam sometimes, and that is this nice plier set. So you've got some nice needle nose pliers, you've got some cutters, you've got some needle nose pliers with a 45-degree tip, dead handy if you lose something and you can't quite get in there with a conventional set of needle nose pliers. A set of regular pliers and a set of these water pump grips, which are dead handy. These you can use to undo oil caps which have got the filter attached to, or you could probably just about squeeze a piston back on the caliper if you're replacing your brake pads. Now, obviously, if you did want to go down that route and you want a nice big pair to get for doing brake calipers and stuff like that, again, if you just jump onto Amazon, I think these were under £20 for a great big monstrous set. Now, these are absolutely fantastic for squeezing back the brake caliper pistons. However, again, you could probably buy, these are roughly the same size as these ones, but again, Halfords do something like this. I think these cost me about 13 quid from Halfords. I've actually got a couple of pairs of them. But again, as a general kit, I think this is absolutely brilliant. Again, for less than £20, this is £19.40. So I think we've already built a pretty good toolkit, a pretty good toolbox. I think most of those stuff are going to get you to what you want to do if you want to service your car. I think genuinely that kind of stuff is going to be there or thereabouts what you're going to need. However, one thing I think is really important is a good screwdriver set. Now again, this screwdriver set was £15.11. And for a 10-piece screwdriver set with a little holder, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And again, they're really good quality. Now, obviously, I don't recommend hitting your screwdrivers with a hammer. However, if you did want to, they've even got a nice little metal end here where you can actually give it a good tap. So again, if you've got a rusty Phillips, for example, and you can't quite get it in there, give it a quick tap. Hopefully, that's now going to go into the screw head a lot better. So again, I think for, under £20, that is fantastic. Okay, so hopefully that's answered some of your questions on what sort of tools I've been using, how much they're going to cost. Maybe you want to start building your own DIY toolkit, or maybe you even have a toolkit and you're just looking to add some additional tools to your kit. I would thoroughly recommend this gear lock socket set as a beginner, or even somebody that's got a decent sized toolkit, because again, undoing rusty nuts and bolts with a gear lock socket set is going to make your life so much easier. And again, any of these other bits are a great addition to a toolkit or as a starter toolkit. Now, keep your eyes peeled, because one lucky viewer is going to get a chance to win all these bits that I have on top of my toolbox now. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel, and it will soon become clear when that's going to be live. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.